Hello and welcome to MtM Vegas. March Madness is here. The crowds are crazy. How is Vegas right now with the new capacity restrictions lifted? We'll let you know. Plus, Virgin Hotels is opening this week. We have mixed feelings about how it looks, but they're trying a few things a little differently, and we got to give them credit for that. Resorts World dropped a big bombshell about their residency and their big theater, plus a unique food hall concept that's coming there. And Caesars is suing their insurance companies, saying that they owe them more than $2 billion in losses. All of that coming up right now. If you like the show, don't forget a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and don't forget to leave a comment. Mark and I want to discuss all of these topics with you. Thanks so much for watching. Let's hit it. So Mark, I know you're a huge basketball fan. How has your March Madness been? How is your bracket? Is it completely blown up yet? How's it going?
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody's bracket's blown up. Mine was blown up the first weekend. I had Illinois going very far, so that didn't last too long. And my team lost in the first four, and they were up the whole game, blowing them out, and let UCLA come back. And now UCLA's in the Sweet 16, which should have been Michigan State if they just blocked out on a free throw. So, yeah, I'm pretty upset about it. But overall, it's just good to have March Madness. Last year I was supposed to be going to Vegas the first weekend of March Madness, and everything closed down right before that. So I lost my favorite sporting event and a trip to Vegas. So it was just good to have a little bit of normalcy back in terms of having the tournament back on. Did you end up filling out any brackets?
Didn't do any brackets. I haven't done it for a few years. I know it's terrible. Everybody out there is throwing their stuff at the screen, but I didn't. The good news is with your team losing is that now you don't have to go to the Final Four and watch them, lose in person like you did a couple years ago. I'm not rubbing it in. I know you had a terrible trip to Minneapolis a couple years ago.
Terrible
for March Madness, and so yeah, at least it's back though. And like you said, last year was devastating. I know for so many sports fans, just this is such a sort of kickoff to the spring season, and it's so much energy in Vegas. And we'll talk a little bit about the crowds there. But I just got news from Founderscard. I know a lot of our listeners, a lot of our viewers are Founderscard members, and we have a special deal. We've had one going on for a little bit where you can get a $295 annual fee for signing up through our referral link. We don't have an affiliate relationship with them. I'm just a member, and I have my own referral link just like every member does. But because we have more, a bigger reach, I guess, they were able to give us that lower price. Unfortunately, they let me know that April 1st, that goes away. So through March 31st, if you use our link, you can get Founderscard for $295 and for a year. And that includes Caesars Diamond status, which is the biggest play for Vegas. No resort fees if you're booking directly through them. A bunch of perks. What's your favorite Diamond status perk, or your favorite perk of being a member of Founderscard, Mark?
Probably the $100 dinner. That's always nice. That pretty much knocks $100 off the cost right off the bat. The show tickets I don't really ever use that much, but that is a nice perk if you're into shows. Of course, the resort fees, that adds up on one trip. If you stay at Caesars properties semi-often, or if you have an upcoming trip and you're going to be staying at one, I had to pay when I stayed at Link because I had 2 rooms booked, so I had to pay the resort fees for one of the rooms because you only get waived on one room per stay. And that added up, to $150 right there. That if I didn't have Founderscard, I'd be paying that every time, which is insane. So it adds up quite a bit. If you have a future Vegas trip, I think it's definitely worthwhile if you're staying at a Caesars property.
And yeah, we don't hit Founderscard too hard. We always have the link in our description. I just wanted to share the news because the price is going away. They have had many specials in the past. I expect that they'll have specials again. But for now, they told me that nobody else has the $295. I was the last one to have that sort of price, and that they're getting rid of it as of now. So we wanted to let people know, if you have an upcoming Vegas trip, crunch the numbers, see if the resort fee math will work. A lot of people have been getting comp offers too when they do that, although that's not guaranteed. You get the celebration dinner, you get the free show tickets, which right now I think is still just Link or High Roller tickets, but you get a lot of perks there. So check out if that's something you're interested in. If you're going to be coming back to Vegas in 2021, see if it makes sense for you. All the links is in the description. Plus, I have a full guide because there's hundreds of benefits, not just Caesars Diamond. So check that out on the website. But let's talk about March Madness.
Well, before we move on, I should say one thing. And once you have Caesars Diamond, there's a way to kind of have it forever. through partnerships and stuff, but you have to start off with Diamond first, and then you can kind of work that. And we'll talk about that more towards the end of the year as a way to continuously keep Diamond without actually hitting, the requirements and gambling and everything like that. So if you get the Diamond status now, as long as the Wyndham and Caesars partnership stays intact, you should be able to get it next year and the year after. Like I've had it for 3 or 4 years before I had Founderscard, and I was able to do it that way. So something else to consider, that it might be good for longer than 1 year.
And if you miss it, like I said, not the end of the world. I'm sure they'll have other specials. It'll be $395 going forward, and they will have a special for $295 if you prepay 2 years. So it's not the end of the world, but we wanted to share that information with you. Check out our full guide, determine if it's right for you. And yeah, I mean, we're both members. We both found benefit out of it, and we hope that you will too. Now let's talk about the March Madness crowds, Mark, at Circa. I saw tons of videos and pictures of Stadium Swim, and it was pretty full. Certainly the fullest I've ever seen it. I think the capacity there is 4,000 people. So at 50%, there was 2,000. So they were still allowed to have a lot of people out there. But we were kind of talking about this. I wasn't on the Strip. I did see videos. I heard that it was very busy, but it didn't seem like it was a lot busier than the weekend before, where kind of all the news sort of broke about people coming to Vegas.
Yeah, and we even talked to one of the moderators in our Facebook group, works at the Venetian, and he said, it didn't seem like it was overly busy, and compared to previous March Madness years, it was still lower than that. So I was a little bit surprised. I expected it to be just buck wild there, very much what you saw in Miami, with people just partying and streets packed and everything like that. So that's kind of what I felt like this weekend would be, especially with the weekend before being so busy. I thought it would just keep ramping up. So it was a little bit surprising, but still good crowds, it looks like, and everybody was still having fun, but they didn't go to the level of Miami craziness, I guess.
Well, I mean, Miami is more open, I suppose, than Vegas. I mean, we still have mask restrictions, we still have capacity restrictions. A lot of the shows still aren't back. It's good to see like most of the restaurants are back. It is starting to feel more like Vegas, and so I expect that we'll just continue to see crowds gather, but there still is the reality of people not being ready, of vaccines still rolling out, and we don't have quite the pool of people to draw from like we did before. I expect that following spring break, we'll probably have some slow shoulder season going into summer. That's just a guess, but it seems like the casino companies, the gaming companies are really bullish on the recovery coming much sooner than they had thought. Many of them hadn't thought it was going to come until next year or beyond, and even we're starting to see conventions coming back. So good news there, and we'll keep up to date with that. But yeah, I agree with you. I didn't see any crazy, you were kind of looking for that crazy viral video from Fremont Street or something like that. We kind of got those a couple weeks ago. We didn't get them this week.
Yep. Crazy donuts on the Strip or anything earlier in the pandemic. I was surprised, but
one crazy thing that's happening in Vegas is Virgin Hotels opening on March 25th. I won't be able to be there. I did check out the property for our construction tour, which is now out, and got to walk all around the front and got pretty close to the building. And they got the Virgin Hotels party bus outside. It looks like it's going to be pretty fun. Tons of speakers and music blasting. And it seems fun. I mean, we still haven't seen the inside. We talked about that last week about how we have some reservations about the pictures.
The dated tropical vibe of the inside.
I have seen
as
some
one
more
commenter
pictures.
As one commenter said. Yeah, I did. I saw the extra pictures too, and it did look a little bit better. Still a little too much going on for me as far as the wide variety of colors and the brightness of it all. And I just thought it was funny when they one of the commenters last week said dated tropical. I was like, perfect. That is exactly what it is from those pictures.
Yeah, from those pictures for sure. Las Vegas Sun had some more pictures, a more in-depth look. That's what I think you're talking about, and it gave us a better perspective. It gave me a little bit more hope. I know not everything is going to be to my taste, but overall it looks pretty good. The rooms look decent and very tropical as well. So we'll see. Just a couple more. Well, it's as of the time this comes out, it's already open. So I'm sure we'll be flooded with pictures and videos. I saw the Mexican restaurant, which was formerly Pink Taco. I forget the name of it now. Has this whole kind of Dia de los Muertos theme, which I thought was really cool. So there are some cool design elements within it that go beyond that tropical, get away from that. So yeah, can't wait to see it myself. We'll be checking it out. I'm leaving town, headed for Florida, but after that I'll be back and I'll check it out.
You just want to party with all the youngins in Miami.
I'm going to be hiding away in my hotel, away from all the youngins in Miami.
On Your Mileage May Vary, they posted that the snack bar and the mini bar inside the room are actually going to have like street prices, which I found kind of unique. Like a soda is going to be $1.50, a bag of chips is going to be like $1 instead of the normal $8 for a 25-cent bag of chips type of thing. It'll be more like store prices. So you can't bring your coolers in, but maybe you can just stock up on the mini bar and save some money that way. But it'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see what the alcohol, if they have alcohol in the rooms, what the prices are on that. But it seems like the snacks and regular drinks are going to be fairly well priced, like $2.50 for a Red Bull, basically gas station prices.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that concept works in Vegas. I know that they've tried that elsewhere. I mean, it's really bucking what goes against luxury hotels. Every luxury hotel in the world has a mini bar where they charge crazy prices. So that isn't exclusive to Vegas, but between the resort fees and this stuff, they're taking a different approach. We'll see if they're rewarded in the end. I don't know, but hopefully they are. And hopefully they're not too strict on the food policy, as you say, because that's the one sort of downside to it. But it's good to see them trying new things. If it works, maybe that will spread. Maybe other casino gaming operators will, think outside the box. I've said this a bunch of times, but I feel like we had way too much consolidation here. There's no outside the box thinking. Everybody follows each other. The bean counters are in charge, and Resorts World is a completely fresh take on this. And I'm excited to see what they do as far as the policies and if they can stick to it or if they got to backtrack like so many others have over the
Do you
years.
mean Virgin? You said Resorts Worlds.
Oh my God. Oh well. Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas.
Either way. I will say, I remember, I want to say 7, 8 years ago, maybe I stayed at Harrah's and they had some deal where you could pay like $40 and they would bring the stocked mini bar up to your room and you could have it all. So that was kind of like a cool feature that I don't know if many people took advantage of, but it was something that me and my buddy did. We're like, hey, for $40 or whatever it was, yeah, let's bring it all up. Let's see what we get and everything. So it's kind of along those lines, and I wish more would do it. I know they can make enough off of one drink normally, so they probably don't want to, but it's something, it could increase sales if they make it reasonable. So hopefully it works out.
Well, it's a good point. Coming out of the pandemic, maybe we'll see them try different things to attract different people. Because no matter what, there's so many hotel rooms in the city, and they're not going to be full for a while. So they have some room to play with if they want to kind of think outside the box. Hopefully that happens. And now let's move on to Resorts World for real, because clearly I had it on my mind. We learned a couple things this week. A few things I'm very excited about. First, we'll start about Katy Perry. I like Katy Perry's music. We learned, is going to be doing a residency at Resorts World. This had been rumored for a while. I think even Vital Vegas had rumored it to give him credit. But they still haven't announced it officially, but Billboard.com came out and confirmed it. Still some rumors for Celine Dion maybe in 2022, but a 5,000 seat theater, state of the art theater, Katy Perry, Resorts World's really going all out, aren't they?
Yeah, that's a big name to get. And, it's similar to when Britney came to Vegas. I think it's that similar level. I mean, Katy Perry's probably even a little bit less removed from her peak stardom than Britney was when she came. But it's a big name to bring in. And everything I've ever read or heard is she puts on a good show. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, when they do the announcement party, if you guys have watched the Britney Spears documentary, I wonder if she'll just walk out, not say anything, and then just leave. like Britney did.
Yeah, I don't think she'll quite do that. But this is I think the biggest direct competition we have Lady Gaga at the Park Theater, the brand new Park Theater at MGM, a very similar venue, state of the art, brand new. And so it just shows that Resorts World is comparing very well to those types of residencies, and they really want to draw people up to the north end of the strip. And along those lines, they also announced their 24,000 square foot food hall. It's going to be designed in the way that hawker centers in Singapore and Malaysia are designed. One of my favorite things in the entire world, places to be, is a hawker center in Singapore and Malaysia. The food is so good, the smells, everything. Although it remains to be seen if such a concept can work in Las Vegas, or if, in a few years we'll see all of the cool Southeast Asian food replaced by McDonald's French fries. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's something, I always enjoy food halls. You get a lot of variety, a lot of choices in one spot. So I think it's a good idea. You've seen it a little bit with Italy. That's a different type of food hall, but a similar idea at the Park MGM where they have different restaurants that you can hit up at the same time and sit down and eat, where that's less food hall-ish, but in the same motif, I guess you could say. So hopefully it does well, and people support it. It'll be interesting to see, especially coming out of a pandemic. It's not really the place that you would think you want to be, with people waiting in lines all over the place to get food and everything. So the timing of it is a little bit off. If this was launched 2 years ago, it'd be amazing. So I do wonder how that will play overall, but I think long term it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think the biggest comparison is Lucky Dragon, which never was successful. That very small casino that opened on Sahara, just off the strip. They had a very similar Asian, Chinese inspired food hall, which didn't do very well at all. This reminds me of the Venetian in Macau. I remember the first time I visited there was within the first few months that they had opened. And I was so excited because we had been traveling through Asia for like 3 months. And I saw Fat Burger there in the food court at the Venetian. And I was so excited to get a fat fry. I hadn't had a fry like that in forever. And now if you go to the Venetian food court in Macau, there isn't any Western food at all. There is like 50 food stalls there, and not a single one of them serves Western food. I wonder if the same thing's going to happen. Hopefully not. I'm really excited about authentic Southeast Asian food. This is some of the best food in the world. So I will be there pretty much on day one, lining up to eat some of that food. And like I said, the Hawker Center experience in Southeast Asia is among my favorite things. If they can even remotely recreate that here, I'm all in. All in, Mark. Check out our
Can't wait for the
construction
video. The video of you walking through and getting all the smells.
Exactly. In the meantime, check out our construction tour because we have lots of shots of what's going on in Resorts World right now. A lot of progress has been made, and it's getting very close to being finished, so it's exciting to see that. Now we talked a little bit about Circa and the sports and March Madness, but I don't know if a lot of people out there know Circa is trying to build a sports betting brand similar to BetMGM or William Hill, in that they are creating these franchise Circa sportsbooks. Of course, the sportsbook at Circa itself is themed to Circa Sports. The one at the D, the one at Golden Gate are also themed as Circa Sports. But they opened up this week a location at Tuscany, and then the Pass in Henderson, the former El Dorado, which opens up April 1st, will also have a Circa Sportsbook. So it seems like not only are they trying to build their brand downtown, but this is their way to expand it. Sports betting has become so big.
Yeah, I'm assuming the next thing is going to be like a Circa Sportsbook app, which you see for a lot of the bigger sports books out there, and maybe it'll come to other states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, New Jersey, stuff like that. That we have like a BetMGM app here, we have a DraftKings app here, so sports betting is huge, and it's just growing everywhere. And I think they do need to capture more of the market, because as other states allow it, that was a big part of March Madness, was you had to go to Vegas to make these bets unless you were using an offshore book. And they've lost some of that with, Michigan. I can go downtown Detroit and make the same bet. So I think it is something that they need to be creative with, to draw people in there and make it more of an atmosphere. And I think that's something Circa will be good at doing. You see it at the Tuscany, the pictures from it. Seems like they bring a little bit more fun to it, and better than just a regular hole in the wall sports book that you'll see at little casinos off strip. So hopefully it draws to them, and it just builds their brand up a little bit more.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's the brand that they're building, and it's interesting to see how they expand. And it's a great get for them, I think, to get the Pass in Henderson, just because it's reopening. It'll get a lot more attention. Tuscany, of course, a smaller place, but I think their whole idea is to get people indoctrinated into their sports culture, locals too, and get outlets where people can bet without having to drive all the way down to Circa, but still get the same odds and get the same, or quasi the same experience. So
I would expect them to expand it into other states and stuff. That's what I envision, is them to get that, Circa in Michigan, Circa in New Jersey, stuff like that, so that people have that brand. And then when they come to Vegas, they're like, hey, I'm going to go make my bets at Circa because that's what my app is, or, that's what I'm used to. That's the best odds, whatever. I like their branding and all that type of stuff. So I think that would be, if I was running it, that would be my future vision. So I'm assuming that's kind of what they're going for.
Yeah, either way, it's impressive. I mean, Circa just opened in October, and now we're already talking about 2 extra locations that are not owned by them, in places that are not owned by them. So clearly they're doing something good with the expansion, and no doubt these betting apps have multiplied, and this is a big business now. So I expect we'll see more of that going forward. So let's talk about Caesars now. They're buying William Hill, so they clearly understand what the sports betting thing is, but they're complaining. They filed a lawsuit this week against their insurance companies, saying that there's nowhere in their insurance policies that says that they shouldn't be covered for loss of business due to the pandemic. They say that they've lost $2 billion and their insurance companies are not paying them anything. So, I mean, yeah, they took them to court. What do you think?
I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Usually, like an act of God type of thing is leeway with legal issues, like through travel, airlines and stuff. I'm not sure what it's normally like with casinos and that type of thing, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a weird. If I was them, you have to make the lawsuit. You have to try for it, but I don't know that you could if legally uphold it. I guess I don't know. I don't see how. It's a natural flow of business and it just dropped off. So
to your point, you're always saying about how much Caesars has to pay in interest and how little they actually make even in normal times after paying all their expenses, and $2 billion is a lot of money for them. Clearly that would make a huge difference financially to the company to get these payouts. So hopefully, I mean, they'll win. We don't know the legality of the contracts, and this will be settled in court, but it'll be interesting to see if other companies come out and file similar lawsuits for their losses during the pandemic, not just in the gaming space, but throughout the travel space. Think about all these hotels that were shuttered for long periods of time and all kinds of lost revenue in, so many different industries. So I expect we might see a lot of this stuff. And yeah, it's just something kind of interesting to watch, to see. No matter what.
Be in the next contract, it will definitely be in there.
Yeah. No matter what, insurance companies always find a way not to pay, right? I mean, that's just the universal truth in life, whether it's Caesars Entertainment or your car insurance or your medical insurance or whatever. Last story, Mark. Interactive Van Gogh coming to Area 15. Area 15 is this new, I don't even know how to describe it. I haven't been there yet. I've been meaning to get over there to film it, and I've purposely sort of not read about all of the art installations, but it's this sort of interactive, crazy place. They have this art thing called Mega Mart, which everybody raves about. And now they're going to have this Van Gogh experience, essentially where you go into a room and popular Van Gogh paintings are projected everywhere. So you're kind of living inside of it. This sold out, I think, in 9 other cities, and it's going to be here through the summer. I think there are still tickets available, and it's moving into the same thing with Area 15 just off the strip. It looks really, really cool.
Yeah, the pictures look awesome, and it's more of an interactive experience than you normally get at an art show type of thing. Like I went to Rembrandt in Amsterdam, the museum there, and you walk around, you see the beautiful paintings, but this is something totally different and unique where you're like immersed into it. It gives you a different perspective, even if you've gone and seen some Van Gogh paintings hung on the wall. This is a different way to see it and a different light. So. And you've been talking about Area 15 for a long time, and I always want to say Area 51, which I'm sure that's why they named it Area 15.
Yep.
But yeah, so I've been meaning to check it out. It's definitely on my list, and it looks really cool. Just like the entryway of the pictures I've seen of it look pretty awesome. So definitely, get out there and get that video done already. Come on.
Yeah, I plan on going there when I get back. I'm excited for the Van Gogh. I think this is a cool way to reach like a new generation with technology, because kids think art is boring, art galleries are boring, even a lot of adults do. So if this can bring sort of that excitement of the art to life, I'm all for it. And I'm excited. I mean, Area 15 seems to be really hitting it hard. I know a lot of people who just love it over there with all the various stuff. And like I said, I've tried not to over indulge in information about it, because I want to be a little bit more surprised when I film it and still have somewhat of a perspective on it. So yeah,
do you know off the top of your head? Do you know approximate pricing for the tickets?
I don't know for everything there, but I believe the tickets for the Van Gogh is $50. So It may vary. They may have specials and stuff, but that's what I saw, that it was about $50. So it's not cheap. But again, this is sold out in a lot of places, and then they have the 50% capacity restrictions. So check it out. We'll put a link in the show notes so people can check out for the tickets. And that's going to do it for, I think, this week on MtM Vegas. A long show, but exciting with crowds coming back. New hotel opening this week, Mark. Katy Perry's coming to Las Vegas. It's a good week.
Yes, very exciting stuff. I can't wait to get back out there. I might have to go to the Katy Perry show. I'm a fan of hers, so I'm looking forward to seeing what she all brings out to it and everything. And Area 15 for sure. Virgin, a little less hyped than I was to see it than I was, a month or two ago, but definitely have to check it out when I get there.
All right. Well, let us know what you think about all of these stories. Are you going to Virgin Hotels? How is your March Madness brackets? Let us know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you next time.